already know I'ma do what it do. When I step up in the club, I'ma act the fool. I'ma show up, I'ma shut it down.
Devin Boyd, aka Lyrical Instrumentalist, and I have two guests on the show today. I have
Tia Boyd of Tia Boyd Photos
and
Queen Deelah,
the dope MC hip hop artist Queen Deelah, and the dope photographer Tia Boyd. I have to give them their own plugs because they wasn't ready for that. But yeah, thank y'all for coming on to the show today. I always like to, see how y'all doing. How was y'all day? How was everything today?
Today started off real rough for me. Had some memories come flooding in today, and so it started off pretty sad, but I have to say it got better,
Cool.
Mm-hmm. I must say that today started off a little rough in the midnight hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but when I arose and I did a little working out and all of that, I started to feel better, and I was high energy all day, and I actually accomplished a lot today, so I feel good.
That's good. Well, cool. Yeah, my day was pretty good. I always almost want to talk about my job, but I don't. But I did start a new position at my job.
Whoop, whoop.
So I'll get to work from home again, so I'm like super thrilled about that. And yeah, I can't wait to go back from home because all the fun things I get to do while focusing on my job. wink. And yeah, let's get it. But yeah, thank y'all for coming on to the show. Last week we talked about being like the struggles of being a black male in America, and then I was like, people equally need to hear about the struggles of being a black woman in America. Not just a woman, because of course there's different feminists who talk about just women rights altogether, but I want to actually focus on just being a black woman in America, because I don't really think people fully understand. You always hear different misconceptions. You always hear the angry black woman. You always hear those same kind of things. But I want, of course, I can't talk about being a black woman in America. I can talk about, black women I've talked to, but, what better to actually have, black women in America be on the show and talk about their struggles. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. Do y'all feel you have any struggles in America or being black women in America?
Fuck yes.
You see, I got choked up and I had to breathe. Being a black woman in America, what can I say? Today is Harriet Tubman birthday. Is it today?
Oh yeah.
Or is she an Aquarius? It's somewhere. I just saw somebody post that, but it just made me think about our ancestors, and then how we've inherited that. I feel like a lot of people couldn't fathom what it's like to be a black woman, not just in America, but just period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In this world, in this particular existence, it definitely is a struggle. So I just want to say that. Yeah.
I agree. I feel like we are only going to give like the tip of a lead pencil today of how our struggles, some of the issues that we deal with, but I feel like it's almost hard to actually talk about it as a whole, like every single thing that is for us or done to us or some form of fashion. Like I really can't explain what it is for me. I mean, I can to a certain extent, but to give you everything, you would have to switch souls with me and live as me for at least a week or so to understand like how unappreciated I am, how overlooked I am, how sexualized I am by every fucking body. Everybody, even other women. And so like to tell you like what it is to be a black woman, like I can only give you a tip, just a tip.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
You see how she did that?
Last week I said, like, black men, I feel like black men are the most feared in America in the sense of, like, you know, we can go anywhere and people just naturally just fear just seeing us. Do y'all feel black women get the same or no? I do have a different, another perspective that I think bounce on what you're trying to say first.
I don't feel that people necessarily fear me. I do feel that people feel that I am a servant to them, because I do find myself in situations where I'm out helping or I'm with people, and people tend to want to give me directions like, go do this, do that, do this, and I'll be like, bitch, I don't work for you. Like, I'm not here for that. Or random shit. I'm in a store in regular ass clothes, and I have people walk up to me and be like, where's this? Can you help me find this? Why do you assume that I work here?
Right.
I'm shopping just as well as you do.
Right. Well, me personally, I feel feared as a black woman. I have a very strong persona, and I think a lot of people don't understand why I have to wear my strength all the time, even when times I want to be vulnerable from my experience in life.
Right.
And so because of that, I'm perceived in many different ways. And a lot of the times, yeah, people do let me know, like they are in fear of who I am because of my strength.
Gotcha.
And my experience in being in a male-dominant industry as a female MC, I always feel intimidation from my brothers. I don't feel the support because they see the strength and they feel like, well, she got it. She don't need the support.
Yeah.
So whatever, you know. So I feel shunned, you know.
Oh yeah. That's what we're on, ConverStayShuns, that have conversations about topics and issues that keep shunned. Sometimes I feel like, and not from my perspective, but I feel like black women in America are considered weak, right? Because like Tia kind of mentioned, like, you know, just being, she's shopping in the grocery store and people asking her, like, you know, do you work here, kind of stuff. So it's almost like people, I feel like the world doesn't see black women in America. So maybe if you see some black women in Africa, because you see them in a certain kind of thing, you just feel like, oh, they're queens over there. But I feel like they look at black women in America as always just assuming that they're single moms, baby mamas, or the angry black woman, or you know, the stereotypical popping gum, you know, that whole, it's the same, but they always, I definitely, like I said, for the most part, don't see, and I'm saying I don't see, but like, I'm saying, I'm America right now. Okay. I don't see black women as being quote unquote strong, you know, because we like, well, you know, just how black women are always perceived. Even in movies, sometimes you see the black woman still, unless the movie is specifically, you know, centered around the woman. But again, you usually don't see black women in power. And then the famous black women that you see in shows and stuff are like the Real Housewives and all those different things. So it's like,
exactly,
either your black woman is weak or they just got money and they just act like that. Yeah, so right. So it's like, and then the only black entrepreneurs that you see is Oprah.
Right. Yeah.
Even though there's Beyonce.
Yeah.
You have to be an entertainer to be a respected black woman. So.
And even them, they're just respected on other levels.
Right.
They'll never be on the same pedestal as a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. None of us will. Because they don't view us that. We are not beauty as far as they are concerned. And when I say they, I mean other people. Like, we have been taught to hate ourselves for so long that we don't even know how to pour into our own children to love themselves. That's why those studies with those dolls and like what is the good doll and which doll is the the bad doll,
Right.
and the kids are always still, and it goes across the board, not just with Black Americans, it goes with like Hispanic their culture, like the Black Hispanics, the white Hispanics, any race where there's
darker complexion.
shades.
Yeah.
Right.
Shades of color. We have all been so fucked over that we can't even recognize our own beauty. So like if we can't even look into the mirror and recognize the love, the God, and the beauty within ourselves, we don't know how to project it to our children. And so then therefore then they grow up not knowing how to love themselves. But we have all been fucked over from them people.
Right. For hundreds of years.
Yeah, so like, you
For
know,
thousands of years.
I must say,
And
they did a really good job.
Right. But one thing I must say, you know, in studying and learning about the power of our ancestors, and you see the beauty in us as Black women, then you understand why that was necessary. When you go in a pyramid and you don't see yourself represented from an ancient standpoint, right? When you're talking about ancient science, right? And you don't see yourself represented, then you learn the science, and then it's like, okay, well, let me do some magic and try to trick these same people who enlighten me on loving myself, how not to love themselves, so that we can then be the leaders and the superior ones, when in actuality we wasn't doing it to flex. It just is what it is, you know what I mean? And that was just hard for a particular race to deal with through their immaturity, through their insecurities from not seeing that representation. So therefore this is a long line of people who are in hindsight envious of my melanin, that my melanin has magic, that with the sun touching my skin, I'm able to do amazing things just off top, period. You know what I mean? Like they say, white man can't jump, white girl can't twerk. Listen, I ain't even trying to be shady. I'm just saying what's real. You know what I mean? And I know, again, that there's an exception, but I'm just saying with us and who we are, right? There's a certain magic that's attached to us and our melanin based off our relationship with this planet. And it's very obvious. You know, that's why they needed us in the fields, because they understood that we have a certain relationship with Mother Earth. Therefore, we're the only ones that could have did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. And only if we can see that in ourselves, we can definitely be more powerful out here. But
I feel like if we could project it more, but I also feel like if we project it more, it would also be some resistance. It would feel like an uprising.
Y'all will become radicals at that point for doing what you need to do for your sisterhood or whatever. Y'all will become quote unquote radicals because y'all doing what's right.
I've been in situations, jobs, and just anything really, and me and an ally, we could have the same opinions, we can feel the same way. I'm gonna be viewed as angry, you know.
The angry Black woman.
Yeah. Well, she just, you know, she's angry, and it's not that I'm angry. I'm very passionate. I talk with my hands, and you know, it's like, well, and so such and such, and just because she chooses to articulate her words differently, I'm viewed as angry, and she's viewed as passionate, and we could be saying the same thing.
Same thing, same way.
We could actually use the same verbiage. How you say it?
Verbatim. Verbatim.
Verbatim. And just because my tone of voice and my hand action, I would be viewed as angry. So
or negative.
Or negative. And there's nothing positive, there's nothing positive that comes out of blacks unless It's a white person wanting to be something that we are.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
So like, big lips wasn't cute until them Kardashians
Right.
did it.
Mm-hmm.
I was teased most of my life for having these big ass lips.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that something was wrong with me. You know, I didn't want big lips. I had ass since the 4th grade. I didn't want no ass because, you know, that wasn't popular then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so everything that I was teased for growing up, having these big ass titties, lips, and ass, and your thighs, and you look like this and you look like that, is everything that
Right.
they are pushing to society to want to look like.
Right
But
now.
when I was coming up, that shit wasn't cute. But it wasn't cute and it wasn't appealing until white people wanted it.
Right. And they start marketing that kind of stuff, so now it became
So
appealing.
just the very essence of us as a black woman, we don't even have or own the rights to our own bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what we're here for.
Because the reality of it is, in order for us to undo what has been done, we have to educate ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I said this in a verse. I know a lot of the content that I spit go over a lot of people's head. I feel like some of this content, though, in 15 years, people will be like, dang, she was
Right.
dropping a lot of jewels. But I spit something over that Kanye West beat, Blood on the Leaves.
Oh, okay.
And I mentioned about the straw man.
Okay.
How we are selling our children, right, in hindsight at birth. Because as soon as you sign that birth certificate,
Right.
guess what? Your child is the property of the United States.
Yeah.
That is a business.
Yeah.
Your straw man is a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's important to know these things, so we don't even know, just simply having our children in these hospitals and signing these documents. That's how we recreating slavery all day.
Right.
You know, all day, every day. So when do we start creating systems for ourselves?
Right.
Where we can empower ourselves, because you know what? We built up all these systems.
Right.
We built up all of them. So what are we afraid of within ourselves, where it's hard for us to separate ourselves from
Right.
something that we know that's been toxic for us?
Right,
We
right.
see over the years it's been toxic for us. I feel it in my DNA that it's been toxic for us. I've
Right.
been angry since I was a kid. I'm just going to keep it real. I was that girl that was always, like you said, fighting, getting mad, ready to punch somebody, and people didn't understand. And I didn't completely understand either, you know? And then as I got older, I started to understand, hey, this system wasn't set up for me. It wasn't built for me. It wasn't even designed for a woman like me to thrive. But what Uncle Sam was successfully able to do, right, when we look at what happened to the breakdown in families, right, he gave us a false sense of power, right?
Right.
And you see that in welfare. You see that in food stamps. Because the first thing you got to do as a woman is denounce the father.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now you giving me a little power as a black woman, but really you setting me up
For failure.
for failure.
Right.
To not ride for my family. And that
Right.
and a lot of us as black women, we feed into that. You know what I'm saying? And so if you need it, you need it, sis. I'm not
Right,
dissing
right. If something
nobody. I'm
happens,
not
then you need it.
shaming.
Right, exactly.
I'm not in no way am I bashing. All I'm saying, all I'm trying to do is bring exposure to these systems that are in place that is breaking us down. Therefore, then our brothers looking at us like, well, fuck you then, bitch.
Right, 'cause you don't need me.
Yeah, you don't need me. You can just go to Uncle Sam, and then in hindsight, what he gonna do? Put that brother on child support.
Right. And that's why I feel like the America looks at y'all as weak, because now you need us. You know, us America. You have to rely on us, because y'all husbands, y'all boyfriends, y'all you know. They are a menace to society, and now you guys got with them and gave birth to children,
Right.
and but you guys are weak too. So you know what? Because we're good America, we're gonna help you out and you know, put you on this welfare because you guys need our help and aren't as strong as you guys need to be. So we'll help you out,
Right.
and that's how I feel like how America, because like you're saying, the system is almost designed to.
Not almost.
I mean, yeah, but the system is like designed to
Handicap.
make sure, to handicap y'all is a good word. Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel though, and this may upset some people.
I mean, the thing is,
system,
it might upset some people, but we're spilling facts.
The system goes like this. We feel like we need them. You get pregnant and you feel like you need them. So instead of you working out some kind of deal or some type of way to raise your child with your mate or your ex-partner or whomever it may be, fuck you, I'm going to get on welfare. Mm-hmm. So then you get on welfare, and then that person, they go after them. They end up in jail as a black male or what have you. So then they get put into the system. So now you are on welfare. You already on the system. So you playing all of this shit. Your kids going to school, and they get involved in the pipeline.
Right.
And then not only, so now we setting our own children up for failure too, because their daddy in jail. That's all they know. They know their mama work hard and getting assistance. Now they on the pipeline, and then because it is a one-parent home, and I'm not saying that single mothers can't raise children by themselves, but because it is hard, like it's hard for two parents to raise a child. So it's hard for a one mother to do it, and then if she has multiple children, then her oldest children taking care of her youngest children.
Right.
And so now, they may have issues at school. And so in predominantly black and brown schools, they're not going to try to sit no child down and see
what's going on and
why, why you upset. Why are you causing these troubles?
This gonna fixate on, you're a single parent home.
We're gonna send you home, and then if he's not at school learning, then what else is he gonna be doing, or she's gonna be doing? So then, therefore, they're only gonna perpetuate and fall back into the system, because now I'm bad.
Right.
I'm bad. I'm brown. I'm black, and I'm bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they take on those words too. They don't fully know what that is at first and second grade, but you sitting up here telling this little boy or little girl that they're bad.
Right.
And so now I'm bad. That's why I act like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's a cycle. And so, like I said, we don't love ourselves. So therefore we don't know how to project that self-love into our children, and then it just cycles. And so I feel like we got off topic.
No, I mean it's all still in there, and especially what you just said, how the system is designed. So you mentioned like the black male going to jail, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like because they already see black women as already being weak, so it's easy to go ahead and get rid of the black male, because if we have both of you both the black man and the black woman together, y'all are
broken.
Well, no, if y'all are a good force together, then that's the issue. So it's like, what is I think it's in the book of Art of War or whatever, but like, was it divide and conquer kind of thing? So if we separate both the black man and the black woman, then it's easier for us to tear down the woman, because we're already going to put him in jail over something that he probably didn't even do, or something that was real minor, and but we can put him in jail. So now that's, even if he's in jail for a couple years, trial and all this stuff, this is already hurting the black family, and this is hurting the black woman. So because your male partner is ghost, now you have to be on welfare, right?
Right.
And then too, like you kind of mentioned, what did you say? Like basically having to raise the children by yourself. Kind of lost train of thought. But basically, yeah, the fact that they separated and put the black man in jail and left y'all, so it's kind of like it's all really a part of the whole scheme. And
but also, even with that, it goes back to slavery.
Yeah.
It's not that they even just did this. It was like you said, it was a total design.
Right.
Of people who are masterminds, who learned our science, who understood the power between black love. Mm-hmm. Let's just be real. As individuals, if they can see that power, then they understand that if I can separate this. So
Right.
the true first attack happened to the black woman.
Right.
You know why? Because if he raped me
Right.
and I have kids by him, how is my husband gonna be able to face
Right.
me?
Exactly.
Because he feel like what? Worthless. He couldn't protect me
Right.
from this power.
Uh-huh.
And so when you think about these systems, like you said, it's ingrained in our DNA. It's not something that we can just give the information. It's real spiritual work that we have to do
Right.
to get this energy out of us. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely about to piss a lot of people off with this next statement that I'm about to make. And I'm completely okay with it. Because in order for things to transform, you have to be informed.
Yeah.
Okay? Knowing is half the battle. I think the worst thing that we did as black people after slavery, because we know
Right,
slavery
right,
still exists, was want to integrate with the same energies.
I can understand that.
So I understand that with the displacement of a people, right? But everybody wasn't displaced.
Right. Right.
Let's keep it 100. There were black people in America. Like, do your research. Everybody didn't come over here on boats.
No, we were already here.
Right. You got the Moors who gave these people the maps. You know what I'm saying? So people need to really know their true history.
Right.
And stop going for the okie doke. Like, real talk. Stop going for the okie doke. I think integration was the worst thing that happened to us after slavery. That in order to celebrate yourself, you got to separate yourself.
Right.
Elevate yourself. Then we can all come back together.
Right.
There was a period where we didn't know who we were, and therefore we should have. But I can't say should have because I don't know what was happening in the time. But I also feel like that was kind of like what Kanye was saying when he was saying slavery is a choice. He wasn't saying that people are necessarily choosing it. It's just that with this information age, like, we got so much information, do the work.
Right. Yeah, and
we have information, but we're also lazy now.
Right.
I do feel like my people before me, before my generation, they ride strong and hard
right.
for their causes. And I'm not saying that we don't, but it's different. It's different in a sense, like back then, because people like to say, "Oh, the world is so much eviler or whatever." I know that didn't work. It's more evil now. It's not the fact that it's more evil now. We have cell phones. We have ways of communicating more openly now.
Right.
It's just as fucked up as it was back then. It's just that nobody could tell. Nobody knew about it. Like,
right.
Nobody knew about them people just rolling up to your house and busting in there and stealing 3 or 4 of your men out your family just because they can and take them down the road and hang them and burn them for entertainment. There was no cell phones back then, so we didn't get
right.
all of those stories. But it's not that it's just now happening. It's been happening.
Happening.
It's been happening.
Right.
It's just that now there's more information about it, but I feel like the people back then, even though that they had more consequences of, and potentially dying, that they rode stronger. We have more fear now. We're soft.
And actually, it's funny you say that even about fear, because I was thinking about this earlier. It's almost,
we have no fear, but we won't do shit.
I think the fear almost switched around, but it's still on the same level of fear. Because I feel like back then, like during, like we said, quote unquote, slavery times, right? The number of us, we were so fearful. Most of the slaves were fearful because if we all would have uprose, like at the same time, there's none of the slave masters, plantation owners, there's nothing they could have done.
And I always wonder why we didn't.
And still
because of fear. Like you hear about, like, you can put a dog behind a low fence and they can go around the fence, but because that fence is right there, they think that they can't get around.
But here's another perspective, okay? Because I don't believe black people are evil by nature.
No.
Right? So the thing is, even the reason why we still in slavery,
Right. Quote,
because
unquote.
we have compassion
Yeah.
for our slave masters.
Yeah.
Like let's be real of how this is actually happening, right? So you have a righteous people who understand love conquers all.
Right.
So even though we're hurt, we're being abused, right? This is still our mentality because this is who we are.
Right.
They taught us how to be all these things that we are now, that we are seeing a reflection of now. This is an inheritance of
Right.
people who forced this upon us.
Yeah.
This is not our nature. That's why they didn't uprise.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they continue to just show their love for one another. Is why America is still so strong.
Yeah.
It was built on a strong foundation of love.
Right.
And that strong foundation of love was showed through our ancestors.
Yeah.
You see it in Capoeira. You feel what I'm saying? They got there in them fields,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And practice and show love for one another. These are arts and stuff that are still being practiced to this day.
Yeah.
It's the love that conquers all. So that's what it was. We still showed that love for ourselves. So I don't think it was that they didn't want to do it, or that we couldn't have done it, or that they didn't even think about doing it.
Right.
It was just that that was not in our nature as
Right.
Africans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is not in our nature. We were taught to be these ways. Therefore, this is what we're seeing. You know, and it's hard as a mother seeing this in our children.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard being a black woman, knowing that I'm original woman. I know that. You're not going to come at me sideways. I'm one of them ones that you liable to get slapped. I be telling people all the time. Like, for real. And I'm not saying it because I want to perpetuate violence. I'm
Right.
saying that because I know who I am. You're not
Yeah.
going to come for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know who I am out here. So all I'm saying is, again, that's when the fear comes in, when I'm being this strong woman. When I'm being this strong woman, it comes off as, you know, whatever it comes off as. You know, when I was growing up in the hood, look, one of my closest homies is on watching this right now, and she can verify this. All my homeboys know and knew, don't come for her. Do
Yeah.
not come for Deelah.
Yeah.
She will fight you. I don't care if I gotta pick up a bat.
Yeah.
I will not be abused.
Yeah.
I will not be that better woman. Even if it make me look crazy. Like,
Right.
I don't, why should I deserve that?
Right. Right.
I don't deserve
Yeah.
that. And I'm not going to just take that.
We don't deserve it.
Yeah, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really what my fight was. It
Right.
was not just for me. It was for my sisters. It was for my cousins to like take a stand and not be abused, not to be talked to a certain way. Because I noticed when I came in the room, I saw brothers disrespecting, or they'd switch it up while Dealah was in the room, because they knew that I was gonna be an advocate for my sister. Like, bro, why you talking to her like that? You know what I mean?
But we are the most, I feel, overlooked and abused women, period.
Yes.
I mean, even so much so that other women of other races feel as though, even though they are women, can disrespect us. There's been plenty of times that me and Deelah here, we're out, and other women feel the need or the privilege to feel that they can come up
Right.
and molest us.
Yeah.
Bitch, I don't know you. Like,
Right.
I don't know you. But they want to walk up to us. They want to touch on our titties and feel
Touch
on
my
our
hair.
ass and touch your hair. And, like, I kid you not, I'm not making none of this shit up. We have been molested in the public by other women that I don't know, and I didn't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
I did not ask for it. I did not welcome this.
Right.
I can understand if I said it was okay, I know you, or something like that, but they feel that they saw another person do it, I may know that person.
Right.
But they decide in their mind, oh, that looks like a good idea. I'm gonna go feel on some ass and titties too. Like, I don't know if men get molested like this, but I know that me as a black woman and her as a black woman, because I witnessed it with my own eyes, we have been molested in public, like, for no reason. And, well, I mean, by everybody. I'm not gonna just say women, but I just be,
But let's be
you know,
clear,
feeling something.
white women, okay? Let's just be clear about it. You gotta call it like how it's happening, sis.
Okay.
It's not just women, it's white women. Let's be clear. Like, you know, in order for healing to happen, we gotta call it out.
Right.
And I think, again, it goes back to us not naturally wanting to be combative.
Right.
So we keep giving out all these passes, but then what happened?
We get molested in clubs. Well, yeah, so we've been molested multiple accounts. I can't even count on 2 hands or toes, or feet. How many times, you know, I've been touched by white men, white women, men in general, because they like to touch and then pretend that they don't do it. But like, white women are the boldest. They walk up to you and just like all of this and like, you're so sexy and ma'am, I didn't call you over here. Get your drunk ass away from me.
Well, you know, white women have done stuff like that to me, and I've seen it done to other black men. Partially, kind of like what Fadila was saying, like how you know, we're looked at as like almost like we're just entertainment items.
I do feel that way,
and I see it more like, especially for black women, but you know, for black men, I think it's because the same reason. But I think also because a lot of black men, and I'm calling a lot of black men out right now, a lot of black men don't respect our black women in the sense of we're like, oh, I want an exotic girl. Shit, like black women can be exotic, quote unquote, whatever that is. But you know what I mean. But like, they're like, oh, I want me a nice Asian girl, Hispanic girl. So it's like you already are dismissing. Yeah, that's a good word. Sorry, thank you for that. Denouncing our black women already, and then when they want to get when the black women legitimately get angry or stand up for themselves, now it's like, fuck you then, bitch. Or it's like, what did you do for her to act like this, right? So it's like, as black men, I've seen it where we be trying to put like heat on the black women. Let me say this, I had a African guy when I was in high school. So everybody, you know, like, you know, African, blah, 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 whatever, right? Black people want to be so much Africans, right? And Africans want to be African. I'm about to go on another rant. But I had an African guy, African brother. He told me, first of all, he asked me if I had a girlfriend, which was already weird to me because no guys ever asked me if I had a girlfriend. So, like, you know, what does that even matter? But I was like, sure, whatever. Yeah, I do. He said, is she black? And I kind of had to look like, yeah. Like, why would you assume that she wasn't? Granted, you know what? And anyways, but yeah, I was like, why would you assume that she wasn't? But I was like, yeah. And then he said, I'm stupid for dating a black woman or a black girl, because you know I'm a boy in high school. But he said, I'm stupid for dating a black girl because black women take your money. And I almost literally, we're sitting across from like a table, like impulsively, and I think I was like 15, 16. I impulsively almost jumped across the table and punched him in the face because at that age, I'm like, really, dude? For one, you call me stupid. You don't know me. And any woman will take your money if you let them. And first of all, I ain't got no fucking money. So, like, she ain't taking shit from me unless I gave it to her. But, like, any woman could take your money. But the fact that you called me stupid for dating a black woman because she takes your money as if a white woman or anybody else couldn't.
Wouldn't. Like, you know.
I mean, all women like money. Shit,
right, that's my point. But the thing is,
anybody,
if he thinks that at that age, where did he get that from, right?
Right.
And, you know, this was whatever. I'm way older now, so it's like a lot of black men, not just African men, but a lot of black men have that same kind of mentality at that age, and they just carry that until their adulthood.
Right.
So it's like whether they actually say those stupid ass words or not, they still have that mentality, and I think that's kind of how the phase of America is with black women. So, you know, America looks at black women the same kind of way where it's just like, oh, black women, you know, take your money, they do this, they do this. So it's like black women always has this negative persona, but I think it's also sometimes the black men make it worse because if we always constantly, all of us showed how strong the black women is, the rest of the world wouldn't see y'all the same. See us. I was really getting with y'all. See y'all the same way though.
But I think it's important that you said us.
Yeah.
Because I understand what you were saying as a black man, but if you feel like it's us, then it's gonna be us.
Right,
Because
right.
you are a representation of me.
Right.
So if that is your mentality, that it is us.
Mm-hmm.
So as a black woman, we got to hold ourselves accountable too, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It can't just be you, because if we're feeding into those same stereotypes, we doing hood rat shit with our hood rat friends
Right.
all day, every day. We got a little paper. Graham.
Right, right.
I mean, I'm just saying, you're doing the same thing, sis.
Right.
You're not giving him a reason to respect you, sis.
Right.
So then when a brother meets a sister like me, it can't be real.
Right.
Trust me, I don't know how many of my brothers, right, that have told me, like, real talk, like, you're a rarity out here.
Yeah.
You know how much that breaks my heart
Right.
to feel like a rarity out here?
Right.
When I know that this should be normality?
Uh-huh.
Out
Shit,
here?
look, y'all the exotic ones then.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all the exotic ones.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Like, it's a rarity to be a real woman who ride for family, for black love, for the community.
Right.
Like, it's a rarity out here. You know what I mean? Because everybody is for self. But again, that was American talk. You
Right.
know what I mean? You had a bunch of men who were considered the scum of their country,
Right.
right? Who came over
Yeah.
to colonize
Exactly.
a land,
Right.
all writing for self.
Right.
So the whole American dream is writing for self. It does not support families, no family. Not a black family, not a white family. It don't support no family.
Right.
No.
In order for you to go hard for your dreams and strive for your goals, you're overworked
Yep.
Underpaid.
and underpaid.
Underappreciated.
All of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so then it create this dynamic that we're seeing.
Exactly. That's why we are generations of do you. I'ma do me. You do you.
Yeah.
Fuck whoever else get in your way.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. That's the way that we live life. Like, you know, I'm going to make sure that I'm happy. I'm going to secure my bag. You need to secure your bag. I don't know how you going to get it, but you need to get it how you living. I'm going to get it how I'm living. And, you know, if I come up, I mean, then I done came up. You need to, you know, level up with me if you want to get on my level.
Right.
But ain't nobody trying to pull nobody up.
Right. Right.
We won't forever be those crabs in a bucket. Like, you know, until we start loving ourselves completely and understanding that just because you love yourself don't mean you hate nobody else.
Right.
And being able to reach back and build somebody else up with you so then they can reach back and build somebody else up with them.
Right.
Then we're never going to get anywhere being selfish.
Right.
And I understand at times you do have to be selfish because if you are too giving of a person and you're dealing with a bunch of vampires, you might as well be hooked up to all the IVs at the blood bank and you about to be sucked fucking dry. And like, so yes, at times you do need to be selfish for oneself, but like also understand that when people aren't using you and y'all try to get together and build things and build people up and bring people, you know, to a better situation.
Right.
But like I would have to say, like Jim Crow, the slavery, they did their job very well.
Oh yeah. It was
Because
very
we
well
are still
executed.
feeling those effects to this day. Like white families can't fucking stand each other. But when money is involved,
Oh yeah.
Oh, they in it to
oh,
win
they
it.
in it to win it. We gonna
Yeah.
buy all kind of. We're gonna buy this whole fucking block, and we're gonna build everything up. We gonna make money. I don't have to fucking stand you to make money with you, but I'm gonna make sure that you ain't fucking poor. You know, so like.
As a matter of
just
fact, I'll
wish-
kill all you motherfuckers.
I said they'll
for
probably
this
kill
money.
each other afterwards,
You know
but
what
they're
I'm
gonna make
saying?
sure they get that money first.
Listen,
But like, as a unit, we as people, and I mean when I say people, I mean like all people, blacks, brown, any race that comes in any other shade other than white. Not to say I'm not necessarily dissing white people, but like all these other races, Asians, blacks, Hispanics, everybody comes in all shades
Right.
of brown to white. We are the rainbow.
Right.
right.
We're all across the board, across all races, prejudiced.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Keep it 100.
Right.
We're all prejudiced.
Right.
We all have some type of prejudice. And even within our own families, I am the darkest cousin out of my immediate cousins, and I felt some type of way growing up about that.
Right.
I felt not pretty as my other cousins because I have one that looks Puerto Rican, and then I'm the blackest one.
Right.
And what I considered growing up, I didn't have the good hair like everybody else. Everybody else had nice, good hair, and my hair,
quote unquote, good hair.
Quote unquote, good hair, and my hair is nappy. And so, like, you know, I felt like I was the ugly person out of the group, out of all my family, because then people be like, oh, so and so is so pretty, and this person is so pretty, and
they don't say the same to you and stuff.
No.
Right.
Right.
And so even with that, you know, in a family, we don't even, you know, build our children up and let them know that, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just as beautiful as cousin so and so, or they don't even have to say no
and it's
names,
crazy, like,
you know,
in black families, if we promote our blackness within the black family, and like, you know, it's great being black, outside people look like, oh, you probably shouldn't tell your kid that. Like, it might sound, no, it's not racist because we want to elevate our own black people. It's because our black people have been always cut down for so long. It's like, who else is going to uplift us? Because clearly the people who cut us down ain't.
Right.
Other races aren't.
Right.
So it's like, if we have to elevate ourselves.
Well, other races can't.
Right.
Because they broken
they
too.
can't.
Hold on. And I feel like Dr. Sebi, and I just had this conversation earlier today. Like, if you go back and you hear what Dr. Sebi said about the dumbest things that he felt like black Americans do, one of the things he said was us taking our children to be taught by the slave master. By taking our children into institutions, right, when we already know that these institutions are not for us,
Right.
and then allowing our children to be taught
Right.
the same things that we know that are setting us back.
Right.
His analogy was monkeys don't go to lions and ask lions how to teach them how to be monkeys.
That is, man.
That's true.
Yeah, that is very
It
true.
takes black people to teach us how to be black people. White people can't teach us how to be black people.
My God.
And I love all my white people because actually it was one of my good white friends who took me to the African American library.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And I love him to death for that. But he could not teach me how to be black.
Right.
He could teach me things about blackness
But he can't
and help.
yeah,
he can. That's my personal experience. Something that he never would ever understand, ever. Kind of like what you were saying, unless we traded bodies.
Right.
And you had this soul, and then you can experience what I experienced. But until then, you will never be able to experience what I experienced. You can enlighten me on some things, just like I can enlighten you on some things.
Right.
But you cannot teach me who I am. You cannot. And that's why African American history is not in the schools.
Right. Because the true
They're
African
going to cut
American
all
history.
of that out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, because if you really.
They already, did they cut the slavery out the book?
Shoot,
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I don't think
I
they
need
could
to
probably
ask
cut it
my
out. It's
son.
probably, I think every
They
year it gets a
breezing
little
over
less
it.
and less.
They're
Right.
breezing over
Yeah.
it, but eventually it's like a blackhead on the face of whiteness. They slowly, you know, they squeezing it until it ain't gonna be nothing left to black history. As far as slavery and things go, it's just gonna be like, oh, you know, black people came from Africa and they worked the fields, and there America was born.
It's gonna be a summary, a quick
Right.
little. But it's interesting, y'all said.
A synapse of what truly happened.
Just
like, you know,
Cliff Notes.
Right.
Yeah, Cliff Notes. There's gonna be some Cliff Notes. Just like Christopher Columbus, he came. He discovered America.
That's some bullshit.
Look, if they
I'm
don't,
gonna go discover some money in a motherfucking bank
Right.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
and
it's like-
it's gonna be mine.
We discovered it.
It's mine.
Listen,
I'm here.
look, if
The
they ain't
law
taking
said-
if they ain't taking Christopher Columbus out the history books, then
They don't need to take slavery out.
What'd you say?
Listen, we just don't need to study with them.
Oh, my bad. It's not called Christopher Columbus Day anymore. It's Indigenous people.
Man, listen.
No, in the calendar it still says
It says
Christopher Columbus, Christopher Day.
And we know he ain't discovered shit. Let's
But
keep it real.
but I'm glad you mentioned how integration really wasn't good for us after we say quote unquote slavery. And when you said it, I never even thought about that because we kind of needed a healing period, but yet we were quote unquote free and then brought right back into quote unquote integration, but it was still in the process of separate but equal. So yeah, we was in their schools, but we still wasn't getting. It wasn't equality. So yeah, we weren't slaves. We didn't have physical chains on us, but yet we went to a school with them, but didn't still receive equality, which was still basically the same thing that we're getting when we're out there in the fields. So I was like, I never really thought about that, but I was like, that's true, and I think that's where people that same inequality that happened then is basically just kept getting upgraded over the years. So people's like, well, all that's over. It's not over. It's just the fact that, granted, no, they don't. There ain't a whole bunch of water fountains around, so no, you can't put black only water fountains because you ain't gonna find no water fountains. And if you do, most people ain't drinking out of them anyways because no one want to drink out of a dirty water fountain. It depends on where it's at, right? So yeah, you can't keep that sign, and you can't have these signs that actually say that. But it's like, okay, no, we're not gonna put black only and white only. However, what we will do is make it harder for you to get to these white only things, and then. What people don't understand is, I said this on our show last week or I think I did, I don't know. But I think a lot of people from other countries don't understand how bad the African American struggle is over here and how bad it was and how bad it still is. Because I've spoken to Africans and they'd be like, I've actually spoken to different people from other countries and they kind of had this perception on like, well, we come from our country over here, like, you guys live here, like how come you basically don't reach the same level of success as we do? It's like one issue is in your country, even for some Muslim women who have it bad in their country, when they come here, America has certain things set up in place for different kinds of immigrants, right?
Right.
Partially because America can financially benefit off of helping refugees and different kinds of people that come to this country. And especially if we know that there's a lot of Indian people that become doctors. Okay, well, if you become a doctor, you have to go to our schools here and pay this money to the government, blah, blah. So, like, we can benefit off of you. Right. And the same thing, like, when Africans come here, some Africans. So I have a friend from Nigeria who basically said when he came here, he basically should have graduated. Like, he should have actually already been finished based off of their education in Nigeria versus the one how ours was set up. So where he lived in Nigeria and where we were here, like, the way they were being taught there, like, they were being taught to their career that they wanted to go to, whereas here...
Trades.
They were being taught their trades, so, like, essentially...
Okay, we don't teach trades here because you got to go to college. We do. No, but you got to go to college.
Listen, we teach trades. You know what it is? The drug trade.
Oh, yeah.
The pimping trade.
Yeah.
We are taught trades. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, we are taught trades. You know what I'm saying?
Not ones that's going to be successful.
Well, that's the point. But I'm just still saying, we are taught trades. I'm not saying that it's positive. I'm just saying we are taught trades. That's why the drug industry is being promoted on the level that it is.
Right.
By the powers that be, because this is a trade that they continuously want us to buy into because they know that it benefits this whole structure.
Right.
It benefits this whole system. So it definitely is definitely important in order to unlearn and relearn that we just start having truthful conversations about the damage that was done and the effect that it truly has on us, you know, and as a black woman, as someone who watched both of my parents struggle. So again, my father was one of the first black business owner in the state of California, Muslim business owners. The government would burn down my daddy's businesses. He was a longshoreman.
Yeah.
One of my cousin's fathers was found chopped up in a trunk. Like, let's just be real about how they was coming for us when we were learning how to navigate these systems and embrace business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our business not good unless we are playing along with what they want. But
Right.
when we create our own rules to make it benefit us, it's always wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's always wrong. And then they implement these laws. Then your own people start shunning up on you.
Right.
Like, you wrong. You're not following the law. Bitch, listen.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why we can't have black businesses, because first of all, like, I'm bringing it back to them goddamn dolls. Black is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
White is right. So we have learned not to even support our own businesses based off of how white people feel.
Right.
Like, oh, if it's white, yeah, we're going to go shop at Neiman Marcus, and we're going to go shop at all them other people.
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But see, sometimes we don't even take into consideration that people are like, oh, that person, they charge too much. But why are they charging too much? Because of the struggle that it is to even get. Exactly. I remember I worked with this African lady. She was from Congo, and she had a hair store in Dallas. So
and probably was the only black hair store in Dallas.
She really kind of was like an actual black owned, like she owned the building. Well, you know, of course, you rent from somebody, but
right.
like all this stuff is mine. Like this is black African like hair store. So same thing, like you go to like I guess with Koreans maybe they own them, but like the same way you go to like those kind of stores, Sally's and stuff like that, and get your hair products. She had her store in Dallas and had her own, you know, products, and she had her connect to get her hair,
right.
you know, and all that stuff. So like she owned it. I've been her
She
store.
probably had to fight for that connect.
She did. She even said there would be like I'm gonna say Koreans, you know, Asians that would come into her store from other stores to either be trying to snoop around or they send people in there like to spy basically. And eventually, you know, people kept coming in there and trying to find reason. Eventually
shut her down.
She got shut down because of that. But she even had like some African movies that she had away, and she would be renting them like straight from her country or different parts of Africa. So she had like other stuff, but like it was you know, decent. Like you can get African hair, you know, like it was legit. Everything was cool. Like this was the perfect place for us to go to, but they shut it down just because it was like...
That's because them Asian people got that hair shit on lock.
And that's the thing, right? And it's not being racist for those who are just totally not understanding what we're saying is, but like, you know, when we own black things, then people like... And the thing is, where she was located, it wasn't like she was on the same block as somebody else.
Right.
So you're coming out of your way to come over there because people... You might be losing some of the black business, maybe, but you're not going to go out of business because of her store. But y'all were so fearful.
You know, people so greedy. It's not even fear.
Right, that's the thing. They were so and greedy and fearful that the possibility that I'm
going to lose $10 with her buying a bag of hair over here. Shut this bitch down.
Right.
That's truly what it was.
Where she was located was convenient for the demographic of the people that were around her area. So it just worked out. Like where she was, it was perfect. Yeah, you know, somebody could have went up a couple more miles, but like the people in that area could easily walk over there. Like it was perfect, and she wasn't like impeding on nobody else's business nowhere else. But yet, y'all have to come out of your way to try to shut her down. That's why I think people don't understand about black businesses, and people don't understand why we stay mad all the time about certain things, because stuff like that happens. But speaking of black business, both are black business women. Like I said, we got a MC, artist, lyricist, and then we have a photographer, visual. So what are your two struggles do you feel as just being black women in the industries that you're in?
Woo! Listen, I don't even know if we got enough time to go into this. I'm dead ass.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, it's misogynistic. Mm-hmm. I know that it was by design. So, again, that's where my compassion comes in. But it's been a hard thing, especially coming from the Bay Area where it's a pimping hub.
Yeah.
You feel me? Where you grew up on music like, what's my favorite word? Bitch. Come over here, bitch. Bitch. I'm not dissing Short. I'm just saying you love him. This is what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love him. We grew up on this.
Right.
So I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not all about the culture. But then when you think about that.
Right.
The most popular artist, one of them anyway, because a lot of the times it was like Short and 40, but even 40 is bitch. I mean, it's just like
right.
One is like bitch and the other one's like bitch. I've been getting here I've been called bitches my whole life.
Right.
And I'm dancing to it. I'm listening to it. I had to conform to it.
Yeah.
So when I became an artist and I didn't choose to act like a bitch, I was not the most popular thing.
Yeah.
When I made a conscious choice to put out positive messages in a pimping hub where these dudes couldn't run me in a studio.
Right.
I don't know how many studio sessions I done been to, and I've been disrespected by brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm uncomfortable. I can't even record my whole project here.
Yeah.
That I didn't successfully be able to record a full project in one space until I moved to Austin, Texas. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
I can't wait to put this documentary out.
Oh yeah.
I'm so serious. Yeah. But I'm just saying, as a black woman and knowing my strength, I had to leave because I'm like, I'm ready to get the strap.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it started to get to that point, like where like I'm just supposed to be disrespected out here.
Right.
I'm just supposed to. I remember one time being in the studio with some of my homies, and they wanted me on a Grown and Sexy song. So I came at it in the most elegant way that I knew to like be sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they like, nah, you need to get vulgar. You need to say you dropping it on that dick. You need to ride it. You need to slop. And I'm thinking to myself, like, isn't this my art? Isn't this my expression?
Right.
This is my verse.
Exactly. But they, like, we really had an argument in the studio. Like, it was a real argument amongst people that I considered brothers and loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Where we full-fledged arguing because I'm not vulgar enough. And I feel like I still got my point across, but I left it up to the imagination.
Right. That's the true art. You don't have to always say it specifically. Yeah.
Right. And so all I'm saying, that's been my experience. I came up from a misogynistic culture. So I had to remove myself from that because I knew that I was in a dangerous place. I felt in danger.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. This is not me playing victim.
Right.
This is not me like wanting people to feel sorry for me in any type of shape, form, or fashion. I felt in danger.
Yeah.
Creating music in the Bay Area because it was not supported, it was not uplifted. As a matter of fact, I felt like I was in competition with all these brothers because they couldn't understand my passion and my struggle. Yep. So it was like the next thing is she can't like men. Keep in mind, I'm a married ass woman. I mean, and even if I did whatever, it don't even matter.
Right.
But I'm still saying, how do we get from me creating art and me expressing my struggle to me being like, oh, she can't like men because she ain't letting us all run her.
Right.
To now I'm a lesbian. So that's the struggle for me of being a strong woman. Is always misinterpreted.
Right.
It's always misinterpreted. And I just think for me, it's just very important for us to continue to have these conversations, to let brothers and sisters know that it's time for us to take a stance and reclaim our power as a collective. But I got to do that for me first. You know what I mean? And that's where you were talking about being selfish. I think that's where the real selfish work has to come in. It has to come in with your spirituality.
Yeah.
It's not with the physical service. You know what I'm saying? Because we are all here to provide a service for one another. You're not going to be able to just provide a service for yourself and survive out here. Look, I don't care.
First thing we learn as humans is manipulation.
Right.
Yes, baby.
Because you come out, you cry, some people do shit for you.
Right.
That's the very first thing that you learn as a human. Everybody.
So, what are your struggles as a black photographer? Black woman photographer?
My struggles as a black woman photographer, a black business owner, is people not respecting my craft. Not respecting it, and they always want to haggle me. They want to, they ask me, you know, well, what's your prices? What's your quotes? And I give them the information, and by all means, like, I'm not offended. If anybody decides that they don't want to use my services because I am too expensive for them, that is fine. But I'm not charging what I feel any more than what people go to stores.
Right.
And you're worth it, period.
Stores to go and sit in one background. And I tell you this because I worked at those stores.
Yeah.
That they're going to give you levels. you're going to get a full body. You're going to get a half a body. You're going to get a sitting down. You're going to get a side light. You're going to get a backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
I create art with people. I create things that I feel is timeless. I create pieces that I could sell not only to the family that I took, but I can sell to whomever to hang up in their house as artwork. And so for people to want to haggle me and tell me that, oh, this costs too much and this is that and so such and such. And granted, sometimes in my past, I felt that, you know, I have to compromise. Mm-hmm. And I would feel that, okay, well, maybe I am too expensive, or maybe I am too high. Well, what can you afford?
Right.
And I was being disrespected with these prices. And I'm not going to even lie. I paid good money to go to school to know what I know and to do what I do. And school could teach me all the skills that they want, but school cannot teach you to be creative.
Yeah,
school
can't teach you how to be an artist.
To be an artist, and school cannot teach you how to have a certain eye and to look at things and to imagine things. And like when people call me and be like, I want to do this, and then I start spitting out other stuff, and they be like, wow, I never thought about that. But like school cannot teach you that, and I'm disrespected with the price. And unfortunately, it's my black people.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I have many consults with all races. Like I get business across the board, and it's only when I speak to my people that I be like, well, you know, we discuss everything that they want, all their wildest dreams that they want me to make possible for them. I'm telling them, yeah, I am able to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna get back with you with the price, and then, oh well, that's too much. Other races and other people, I send them they quote, they send me their deposits, they get their dates, and we get shot.
Right.
So,
my people are the only people that be trying to be like, well, my cousin could do it for $60.
Go to your cousin.
Yeah, well, why you even hit me up?
Right. I can say that I can especially for UT, I'm not gonna say anybody's specific name or anything that can whatever, because even by what I was about to explain will start whatever. But I have ran into people that all three of us have actually known that have tried to basically undercut you. And sometimes I feel like because of who you are and because you're a black woman, they may not say it, but because I've seen them substitute, or, you know, they come to you for this and you be like, no, I can't do it for that amount. And then they go to, and I see a black man doing it. So it's like, are you paying that black man more money to do the same thing that we were doing or not? But I don't know. Not making no speculation, but it's like I can't see that person doing it lesser than what you know what you quoted. And if they are, as a black man, and I'm saying this, the person I'm talking but anyways, it's all black. It's all black that we talking about. So whether it be the one that's trying to hire T or not, or whatever. But I'm just saying, as a black man, an entrepreneur, me personally, if I actually can't afford you, I'm just gonna try to see what can I do, because I already work with you. Like shit. Like what can I do? I can't pay you this. I'm just gonna say a low number. I can't pay you this $10. Is there any way I can give you $5 and then like maybe like
be on a payment plan?
Something, right? Even a payment plan. But if that's not an option.
I do feel like I produce awesome work.
And that's the thing with both of y'all.
I've helped businesses.
Right.
And I've built shit with people.
And brands.
And brands. And we start off at one price because we both struggling and we both knew. But then nothing ever changes for me.
Right. Something changes for them.
But things build and change for you. And I don't reap any of the benefits. Not saying that I'm suckling off your tit, but I helped to be where you are.
Right.
And I don't get any
people don't think about like
images.
I
don't get any thank yous.
photography, and that's
if
why.
anything, I got stabbed in the back. Like fired, or didn't even know that I was fired.
That's the thing. People
or
don't
replaced
understand.
or what have you, because I was unavailable when you needed it.
Uh-huh.
But my thing is that as a business, that happens, and unfortunately, I have to take blame into partial of that because I didn't have contracts set up to protect myself.
Right.
So that is something that I learned as being a black business owner, is that I have to have contracts set into place to protect me from situations such as that. Because if I would have had a situation, if I would have had a contract stating that I am to be paid this amount of money for this amount events or photo shoots or whatever, and this is what I'm gonna receive, and then after this date you are free to deal with whomever you want to.
Right. But you're liable to do a contract.
That's how it gotta be.
So so unfortunately that happened. Life lessons learned. And
you move forward.
You grow. Right. But I would have to say my major thing as being a black woman and being a business owner and operator is that even in business and even with the quality of work and people seeing what I can produce, what I can do for them, they still underestimate me and want me to lower myself to be something better for oneself.
Right.
So I feel like the Bible, I'm being used in a manner that best fits whoever is speaking the word at that time. So
like I said,
true.
I said, what is this quote? One of Dev B quotes. I was like, starving artists. I almost should go look it up, but it was almost something like starving artists want to be fed, but they don't want.
That's right.
They don't want you to eat too, basically. So it's like a starving artist want to be fed. They come in your kitchen and use up all your food to make themselves and get fed. You like, cool. Yeah, you know what? Starving artists, come in my kitchen, use my ingredients, do whatever you need to do so you can eat. But it should be that, that understanding, like, whatever you cook in my kitchen using my resources, feed me too. But some starving artists go in there, they eat up all your shit and they be gone.
from now on,
but that's the contract you saying. It's
right,
like,
for the contract.
I shouldn't have had to say that.
That's what I was just about to say.
You shouldn't have to say that.
Why do I have to say that? For instance,
common sense.
For instance, right? Look up Boombox. I showed you guys this.
God. Yeah.
With Bass Nectar, right? He came to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I'm hot in the streets, in the Bay. The homie's like, look, the homie want to do a record with you. Right? He threw me $100. I'm like 22 years old. A young sister trying to come up out of Oakland.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yo, when you told me about that,
that had to be the hardest lesson I ever learned in music. Because if you look up this record,
man,
across the world,
man,
I'm talking about across the world, you got people that are dancing to my lyrics across the world. This was one of his top songs.
This is one of the songs that put him on the map. Like, I'm an electronica listener, DJ. Like, I'm one of them people like this. Like, I rock that song. You know what I mean? But when you told me that, you were like, "Have you heard this song?" And then you were just pulling it up. And first, I saw the picture on your phone, so I'm waiting for you to scroll past it or something, because I'm like, "Oh, that's Bass Nectar," or something, whatever. But even once I saw that picture, like, it registered, because then I heard you, because I was like, I know your voice, I've heard you rap, I heard you spit, we recorded stuff. Then it was like all in that like moment, like I heard everything, and I was like, she about to scroll past that. Like, please scroll past that, because that's not what's registered in my head right now. That ain't what that is. And then you're like, oh yeah, this song. I was like, fuck, like, I can't believe
this is me. It don't even have my name. It won't, like,
it ain't featured or nothing.
Even and I got the credits on the actual album, right? But like, why wouldn't that matter? That could have got me more business. That could have got me more exposure. Like, why would you do me like that?
No, knowing that your song, like,
why they gonna help you?
But why not? But it goes back to what you're saying.
Why they gonna help you?
So it made me like realize, and it helped, rise me up as a young sister.
Look.
But it did, like we just talking about being black women in business. And that was probably the worst lesson that I had to learn in this business, was watching that song get to the level, meeting people knowing the song, knowing the lyrics, like, you know what I mean? That's all me, and I got like absolutely nothing. I got like $100. I didn't get nothing that benefited my children. He resold my lyrics. It's remixes that got millions of views, you know what I'm saying? And so, it's just an uphill battle, just based off, again, my ignorance at that time, my pure excitement, to want to be my best self and eager to work with people. I didn't even know who the dude was or the level that he was on. But again, it did make me wise up and conduct myself in a way where I had to make sure that when I'm doing these type of deals, that it's beneficial to me.
Right.
Because you can't do no more of that homie stuff.
No, you can't, unfortunately. But you can't. No.
Look, 2019, I'm straight Lil Red Hennon in here. Did you help me pick them grains for the fields? Then you don't get to eat. Did you help me plant and water and till and sow? Correct. You don't get to eat. Like, and it's not even about trying to be funny or anything
it's
like
just
that.
being real.
It's just that, like, if I'm putting in all this work, and in the process of me putting this work, I'm telling you, I need help. Can somebody help me? Please. I'm reaching out. Can anybody help me? And ain't nobody coming to my rescue. And I'm not saying that I need to be rescued, but like I obviously need help. I'm asking for it. Nobody's helping me. And so I'm gonna push through, because that's what black women do. We push through, we push forward, and we move the fuck on, and we be strong because we don't have any other choice.
Right.
But to be strong for ourselves, because if we don't, then we're considered weak. That's another thing. How is it that we are the strongest woman, but the weakest woman at the same time?
It's the same thing how black people are the minorities, or everybody except the white male is a minority. That doesn't make any sense. Yet we all still say it, the minorities, but it's like, that makes no sense. If everybody except one is the minority, then that one is the minority.
Right. But we push forward. We continue to do this. And then when I'm over here sitting up like a fat rat, now everybody to their mama, their grandma, and them unborn fetuses got their hands out. Where mine? Where was you when I was asking for help?
When I was struggling.
And I'm asking for help, and nobody wanted to lend a pinky to assist me in no form of way. Not even if it was like, I ain't got no money, but here's a hug. Nobody had nothing to give me, but you want to benefit from my success. How is that fair?
And that's how it
unfortunately, our mindset tells us, I have to help them. Those are my people.
Right. And so,
let me reach back here. And even though all these people that I begged and pleaded and cried for help for, let me bring them forward for them to use you like a dirty dish rag. And then when you all funky and used up full of holes, they gonna toss your ass in the trash can.
But to bring it full circle, the reason why
Hold up, she got an album named Full Circle. Full
Circle.
Full Circle by Queen Deelah.
Yes. To bring that full circle, the reason why you are then the one that they're having their hand open to is because that love, right? It goes back to that love that we have naturally, right? That is the most valuable thing on this planet. Therefore, the universe is going to honor that. So guess what? If they were not pouring back love into that, then their pot is empty. You know what I mean? And that's why yours is always going to be replenished, because it is a divine honor system in love. Right. That's why slavery can't and will never beat us.
Right. Exactly.
I want to give one nugget away. People need to quit pouring into folks, all of them. I was told by the real nigga Tara that you need to be like a coffee cup with a saucer on it. People want to pour directly out of their cup.
Right.
You need to pour off of the lanyard, as we call it in Louisiana, which is extras, which is the overflow that is caught underneath the saucer of your cup.
Mm-hmm.
People need to quit pouring from their cup directly and pour the extras.
Yeah.
Because if you continue to pour out of your cup and nobody's ever pouring into you, and you never take the time to replenish what you're giving away, then you're going to get depleted.
Exactly.
And then, like I said, you're going to be like that body that's in that blood bank earlier with them vampires sucking,
Right.
sucking the life out of you. But
yeah, and this is what's happening to, like you said, a lot of black women. You know, we have this superhero complex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't get depressed. We ain't sad. We strong. We can do everything without a man.
Right.
We don't need no help.
Right.
I got this.
That is.
I do me.
That's
I'm
incorrect.
gonna live my life. No, everybody needs somebody.
Period.
Somebody. We
Period.
all need somebody to listen to be a sounding board, to cry upon, to laugh with. You know.
Because sometimes we do things because we have to, but that's not the way we want to do it.
Truth.
So it's like, yeah, as black women, y'all do things the way that you have to do it because, like, y'all's like, there's no choice. You have to do it this way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For your own survival, for the sake of your kids, for the sake of your sanity, you have to do it this way. But it doesn't mean that that's
is
the way
true.
you want to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're even on the outside. It's like, oh yeah, you know, she's good. No, like she's struggling too, but she has to, you know, do what she got to do for the sake of, like I said, self, sanity, children. So, yeah, I thank you, black women.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Let me say another thing about these two black women. I've seen both of their. I've only been knowing Queen Deelah for 3 years since we've been out here, and of course I've been knowing Tia Boyd photos. For, you know, I'm married to her for a while. But like I've seen, even in the 3 years, Deelah, I've seen. I see your transition and how how you do things as an artist. To me, you're a producer. You're a lyricist. You're a singer. You're an activist. Then I do my research on people, so I've looked up like old videos and everything that you've done, and so I've seen your movement, and I hear you talk about the Bay a lot, and I'm like, oh, let me see, and I like look at the videos, I'm like, oh, like shit, like you've been doing this, so like you're not new at this, and the same thing with UT is like, of course, like I've known you, but I remember you shooting stuff off your phone, off of BlackBerry, and we got some cool photos. I remember you shooting off of point and shoot cameras and mediocre stuff. So it's like I've seen your come up as well. But then knowing both of y'all, it's like y'all haven't always had like the best of the best with everything you do, but the products that you put out is always great. So it's like people who don't respect y'all in y'all industries, it's like, and some of those people who don't respect y'all got all this clout and this money and this power and all this whatever, but it's like y'all doing stuff and y'all don't even have all this yet, all that they have, but then the product y'all put out is like 10 times better. So it's like, why you acting like you are so much better than me and I ain't got what you got and I'm putting out better shit than you? So what does that make you when you got the resources? And I'm the same way. I see myself like I don't have the best of the best musical equipment or whatever, and I hear some people's mixes and other stuff like that and sounds they put out, and it's like I ain't even got what all you got, but I'm putting this out and people is really digging what I'm doing, and
right.
that's I have to start building my own confidence and look at that kind of stuff. But I'm like, after a while, it's like sorry to say it, but kind of like almost fuck them people, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like we strong what we doing. So it's like, cool, I don't need you. Don't no nothing, no hard feelings. But when you come to me with that and I come at you like, yo, like I said, with the contracts and this is how it's gonna be, we need to do it like this, and you come with an attitude, I'm sorry, well, I'm about my business. Clearly you ain't, because if you were, you'd be on my level, or you'd be pushing me up to be on quote unquote your level if you so great in your industry or whatever the case is.
Right. And I think again, the significance of what we're all doing here together, the bottom line is the love. This was a divine thing.
Right.
As I told both of you, y'all are prayers answered for me, not just in this industry, but just like in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's very rare to be a woman of my caliber, to find genuine, pure people who don't want anything from me, but just for us to just like be together. And that and us doing that has created a lot of magical experiences. Like, we help elevate this culture out here. I don't care what nobody say. You don't hear me say it, I'm saying it.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying it.
Yeah.
We help elevate this culture out here.
Yeah, ET.
Period.
Yeah.
People can say what they want to say about me, because I'm not the one that always is going around rah rah.
Yeah.
You know? But at the end of the day, I done busted some power moves to help shape what Austin hip hop and music scene look like.
Yeah.
And we can go back.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want me to tell this complete story.
Right.
Trust me.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, that's what I let you all know. That's why y'all are a blessing. So even, you know, that's why we have these appreciation ceremonies quite often.
Yeah.
Where we all get up in here and we get the crying and we hugging and all of that. Because it is that organic. From that love, all of this magic is created. Everywhere we go, people know who we are. It's not because we coming in the building like, hey, with tags on. Like, people literally, you know, like me and Tia was just dancing the other day, cutting up how we cut up. And somebody just kind of cut in like, hey, I know you. You're a Tia boy.
Right, right.
And the thing is, even though this is my sister, this is my friend, right?
I didn't know this one.
Right.
I still don't know.
She didn't know her, and I still feel the same way when I see her work. The work that she does for me, the work that she does for other people. I'm like, hey, that's Tia Boy, and that's my sister.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it makes me proud to know that I'm connected to such a powerful sister, and all I want to do is uplift that. Not because the work that she does, but just because. You know, like, I don't even have to have a reason.
Right.
Like, this is unreasonable love. It just is. It's just like that connection. And I wish people knew that if you allow yourself to be vulnerable in that way, we can build up so much more. And I think that a lot of our culture is afraid of that vulnerability from the black woman.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna make you feel. You know, I just wrote something down today. It's a spiritual wheel, and I hope I'm getting this correct. But it's feeling, thinking, right? Action. And I'm trying to think of the last one, but what we are taught is that we're not supposed to feel. So when we feel as black women, we always in our emotions.
Right.
Well, the thing is, we see birds feeling all day, right?
Yeah.
They just navigating through their feelings, right?
Right.
Therefore, they can put it to act.
But we ain't supposed to have no feelings, because I know for me growing up, I was told plenty of time by my mama, like, quit wearing your feelings on your shoulder. Quit having your heart on your shoulder. What you crying for? Like, you know, like, you're not supposed to have any feelings, and it's even worse for young black boys.
Yeah, I should have brought that up last
you're not supposed to be crying. You a man. Be a man. Be a man. Like, so men don't have feelings?
Right.
And then us as little black girls, we not supposed to have feelings. So then as an adult, when you're told that you're heartless and that you mean and that you're a certain type of ways, well, look, how you expect me to feel when you brought me up? You ain't supposed to have no feelings. You ain't got no feelings. You ain't got no nerves. You ain't got shit, according to your mama. So, like, how am I supposed to be?
Right.
So we are all products of what we were made to be, but unfortunately, they didn't know that they were raising these type of people because they were only trying to protect their own feelings.
Yeah, from the way society is.
From society, and they call themselves trying to toughen you up, but then they done fucked up in the process.
Right. It created a huge disconnect. You know what I mean? Like, our brothers are the physical navigation.
Right.
Right? And not that we can't be strong, but I'm the spiritual navigation.
Right.
If I'm not in my feelings, bruh, I can't tell you these visions
right.
through me feeling. Right? and you have that physical strength to help us navigate. You know what I mean? So the thing is, you got to allow me to be in my feelings so I can help you to be in touch with yours.
Right.
So that we can navigate. We're
Right,
on
exactly.
a feminine planet, okay? That we call Mother Earth. You don't think I'm going to be in my feelings?
Right.
True.
Like, let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's very ignorant. And that's what I'm saying. That's why we're faced with, that's why we're uncombing so much as black women constantly, right? Because, like you said, we have to suppress and inherited ways of being. And I know that it's so much more that I could say, but again, thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
No, thank y'all.
Thank you. Like, that's all
Thank
I
you
can
for
say.
this time and opportunity. We're going to cut this because
Oh yeah,
between the three of us, we're going to be here all
night. Yes.
But yeah, thank y'all for like say coming on ConverStayShuns. I'm gonna put y'all information in the post. But again, this is Tia Boyd Photos Photography, and we got Queen Deelah, the dope MC, artist, rapper, singer, artist, rapper, singer.
Y'all can check out my work
Yeah.
at tiaboyd.com. That's TIABOYD.com.
And just Google Queen Deelah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that humbly because the truth of the matter is, I don't toot my horn a lot.
I got you. Yeah, look up Queen Deelah. You're gonna find all the dope shit, and be on the lookout for this. Can I say
Yes.
the Sage? Oh no, Locked and
and
Loaded.
Loaded. Yes,
Gonna
Locked
be a
and
dope
Loaded.
ass song and a visual following up with that. That we got Justin Humphrey
Tia Boyd shooting
Yes.
the
and
cover.
Yes.
Tia Boyd. Oh man, it's fun.
Man, production by Devin Boyd,
Thank
arts
you,
and
thank you.
lyrics.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Arts and
So
lyrics.
Man, this whole thing is gonna be super dope.
Listen.
So y'all be lookout for that.
Look out for it.
it's
and
all love.
we would like to conclude this.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
yeah. Thank y'all
yes.
for staying tuned to ConverStayShuns. Thank y'all again, ladies. Peace.
Thank you.
Elevated mind. My mind's elevated, elevated mind. My mind's elevated. When your mind is elevated, it ain't hard to be there for your loved ones.